Hello, you absolutely beautiful human beings. Today, we're going to be talking about what expressing love to a narcissist is like. And before I get into that topic, I just wanted to quickly say I'm currently hosting free one on one calls. If you feel like shit, if you feel down, if you feel like you need somebody to speak to, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get in contact with you and we could discuss things. Alright, so as always, we're going to start with a story, a brief anecdote. I want you to close your eyes and visualize this with me. It's the start of a beautiful new day, and you've just woken up from one of the best sleep sessions you've had in a really long time. I'm talking like 4 months. You get up, you do your regular morning routine, brush your teeth, make your bed, go for a 36-mile run. For a moment, you think, should I make breakfast? Or go downstairs to eat breakfast with my family and eat at the dinner table? For a change from your usual introverted actions, you turn the knob on your door and you start taking steps downstairs. You open the door to the kitchen of your parents' apartment. You see your mother in front of the stove. Ah, yes. The first things to come out of her mouth before you can even say hello: "Why haven't you gone to take down the drywall in the other apartment yet?" Disregarding that strange command, without hesitation, you extend your wings like a phoenix to signal that you're going for a hug. You stand there with a massive smile on your face, and as you close the distance to your loving and supportive parent, you notice something deathly cold about the response. Your mother pushes you away the closer you get for a hug. It's as if she thinks you're like a pesky fly buzzing around her ear, an inconvenience. A lovely feeling washes over you. You're reminded, this is what your family's best at. For about 30 seconds, you try to come to terms with the cruelty of such a response from your own mother. After having just woken up, mind you, absolutely no context to this. There was no fighting, none of that. This is just the standard. She asks you if you would like to eat some hard-boiled eggs with your father at the table. Without saying anything, you just decide to leave the room, because why would you spend time with somebody like that? And it's unfortunate, because that limits your time that you're spending with your father as well. You exit the room. You go upstairs, make yourself eggs and bacon. Basically what you do on a regular basis, all by yourself, again. You plate your food. You sit down at the kitchen table. You sigh. You think to yourself, one day I'll have a family, and spending 15 minutes together at a table, it's going to be the best feeling in the world. It's not going to be fucking unbearable like it is now. There's only one problem, though. You still have all that love to express, but you're all by yourself again, with nobody to express it to. The guilt that a person feels for wanting to love a narcissistic parent, but is never actually given the opportunity to express that love, it's a pretty fucking damning feeling. It is one of the worst feelings I have ever encountered personally. I have noticed this problem that I have a lot of love to give, but so few people to express it to, because I'm literally forced to minimize contact with certain individuals in my life, such as my mother. And it's really sad. Limiting that contact with my mother thus limits my contact with my father, so overall I'm already down two parents to express love to, and if you don't have a girlfriend, if you don't have, I guess, these really solid relationships where expressing emotion is common and acceptable, well, then you're going to have very few opportunities to actually express your love, and it's going to lead to things like love bombing in the future, just unhealthy types of attachments. You're not a bad person for wanting to love. You're just dealing with people who've never actually been shown love before in their life, which means that they're incapable of viewing that concept in the same way as you. And it's really unfortunate, but you pay the price for these people never having been loved, because it trickles down to you ultimately. The reason the narcissist pushes your love away is because they themselves have been so bereft of it throughout their lives. And when a situation arises, like going for a hug or saying, "I'm proud of you" to somebody, or appreciating somebody's existence, they kind of behave really awkward. Kind of like how nerds in movies approach girls for the first time And it's just fucking awkward. They don't know what to do. Unfortunately, that awkwardness directly takes away from your feelings of adequacy and such. Because think about it. When you're a young kid, if you can't even get a hug from your own parent, who the fuck is out there for you? Think of the message you receive from that kind of behavior. Especially the younger you are, the more you're going to question, why doesn't my mom love me? All these other kids, their parents seem to support them and want to see them succeed and express this unconditional love to them. But for some reason, my parents don't. And I you can see how you can struggle so drastically to make sense of that. It leads you to it leads you to really want what these other people have and really stop focusing on what you actually have. This could lead to a lot of unhappiness, ultimately, is what I'm trying to get at. Not only is this going to lead to unhappiness, it's going to lead to a lot of insecurity because you're constantly trying to get what these other people have because you simply have this perception of what they have, not actually what their life is like. And also feelings of just genuine inadequacy. Why, if my own mother isn't going to say she loves me, who is going to say they love me? How am I gonna find somebody? I must be a real piece of shit. These are all things that just circulate in your mind over and over for years. That is not an exaggeration, for fucking years. You internalize that for years, and then you have these self-limiting beliefs about yourself, like, I have trust issues. Nobody's gonna love me. There's no point in even bothering showing love because I'm just gonna get shit on. This stuff manifests in really fucked up ways. Something as simple as just being pushed away constantly. Never having unconditional love. It's always based on a specific condition. If I'm able to control you, I'll show you love. If you do something that I don't necessarily agree with, throw you to the fucking garbage. Narcissists tend to only express their gratitude for you when they are actively in control. So be very careful of that. If you're experiencing love after having done something good, like maybe you cleaned the room for your mother and she decides to treat you like a human being, then maybe you start to notice that interaction is very bittersweet and it's really hard to find any sort of enjoyment or joy or value or love inside of that kind of an interaction. Love in a narcissistic household seems to be based primarily on performance. If you're doing what I approve of, then I will treat you like a person. If you're going the other path, then you know what, I'm gonna tear you the fuck down. If you're not living up to this specific version that the narcissist has painted of you in their mind, well then you're not going to be treated like a human, unfortunately. You're not going to be shown unconditional love. It doesn't even matter if you are the child of these people. Unfortunately, 25 years of this sort of interaction fucks people up, and it leads to a ton of mental issues. We already somewhat discussed that. Insecurity, inadequacy, never feeling like you deserve love. And these issues have a high probability of manifesting in ways such as addiction, and honestly, if you have lived in this dark, depressing kind of environment, death. You may have come very close to death at some point. And, well, why would anyone want that? Unfortunately, narcissists cause you to learn that love and support is not something that you're going to get from them, and that leads you to go try to find it in some really dangerous places. And unfortunately, the circuitry that we have developed with our parents, these relationship skills that we have formed, these habits, they go on to things like friendships and partnerships. So if you found yourself ever attracted to somebody who is a lot like your fucked up parents, well, that's kind of a natural response. Because the circuitry that your brain uses when dealing with relationships, primarily identical to the circuitry that's used when actually developing your understanding of social cues and things like that. So if you found yourself interacting with really unhealthy people because your parents were unhealthy, well then that's probably why. The same circuitry is being used. And this brings me to a quick last point. I want you to think about, has anyone ever told you they are proud of you? And maybe if you've grown up in a household like this, you have not heard that very often, like me. And unfortunately, through these unhealthy ass relationships and just going to negative coping habits over time, if you've never been told by your family that they are proud of you, you will not learn the meaning of support. You will not learn what it's like to be loved and appreciated. Now, it's really fucked up, but nowadays when somebody tells me I am proud of you, I kind of feel numb. I don't know how to respond. My entire life, it's been bittersweet. I've been shit on 99% of the time by my narcissistic mother. And then the 1% of the time that I actually do well and get congratulated, I don't want that shit. It's fucking bittersweet. And now my jerk reaction to being told I'm proud of you is that same exact thing. Just kind of numbness. I don't know how to respond. And I feel like that has a lot to do with the rejection of love over the years. You kind of numb when people show love. It's almost like a foreign concept. Your brain and body don't know what to do. Unfortunately, you end up accepting these types of beliefs about yourself, that you don't deserve to be loved, you have trust issues, and this also will lead you to not take action and dig yourself in even further of a hole. This negativity that gets instilled in you, another day that gets reinforced that you don't deserve to be loved by your own mother, that is fucking depression. That is depression inducing. The main point of this video is I just wanted to share this story with y'all. And the premise being, living with a narcissist is as cold as ice. And nobody deserves to be treated like this, no matter how unconfident or shit you feel about yourself. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to share that fucked up story. Take care.